Wake up, black people. African Americans, Negroes, coloreds, whatever you want to call yourself, we had better wake up. I have never seen so many attention deprived, low self-esteem people in my entire life. And we're seeing it in real life as well as on television. We are still slaves by choice. We as African Americans have been traumatized into a docile impasse. Look up those words. And at this point, it appears that we are useless to anyone, including ourselves. We concentrate on very important things when others appear to be the villain, the police, whoever, CIA, FBI, whatever company or organization or agency that's doing things to hurt African Americans, black people, whatever. We concentrate more on that and we don't even look at what we do to ourselves. We kill more of ourselves than anyone else every year in all of the major urban cities in this country. And it has been like that for many years. I don't know why we don't concentrate on our own behavior pertaining to things. But we're going to have to start, because if we don't, we'll continue that same behavior and no one is going to want to be around us. No, they're not going to give you a job. They're not going to give you any housing. They're not going to do anything because they're watching us on how we relate to what is going on in our own community. And we're not looking at it clearly. Out of 50% of the people that are pretty much killed in this country are African Americans. But over 70% of that, we're killed by ourselves. And we don't do anything about it. We're being held hostage by everyone, including ourselves. And we don't even see it. Now, it's very difficult to see these things when they're throwing so many other things at us to make us, I don't know, have a low self-esteem, feel self-conscious. We have no confidence in ourselves. We have a low self-image of ourselves. We were taught to hate self-kind. Until we really learn that, we will continue with our behavior. Now, I just want to give a few examples of what I consider attention deprived and low self-esteem. Okay, we have a lot of individuals that are altering their bodies. I'm getting on the women first. Altering their bodies. Breasts, buttocks. Because for some reason they didn't think that they were beautiful initially. So now they have to augment or They're marring themselves, and we've had a lot of deaths associated with some of these operations people have undergone. Big booties is now very popular, and they have people having injections and operations to have a big booty. And it's not only black women, it's white women. Big breast implants. Your self-esteem is so low that you allow someone to cut on you and mar your body, and you're thinking that it's going to beautify you. Anyone that couldn't deal with your body at how you were born with it will never love you for you. Let's talk about some of our men. What I don't like, and which is happening a lot in Oakland, are these sideshows. You go out there and buy these cars, or steal them in most cases. That's the reason why they don't care. And then steal all the accessories. Sometimes the tires and them things are splitting around there cost more than the whole doggone car, and you going all up and down the street showing it off, doing donuts or whatever you want to call it, because you need that attention. You have not received all of the attention that you wish, so this is the only way you know how. Now, if the only way you know how to get attention is to drive up and down the street and possibly run into people and cause accidents and people end up dead, it's something that you have done prior to that that caused you not to be a part of anyone's mind at all. You're not going to get the attention. And going out there doing that is not going to get you the attention of individuals that have a mindset that's associated with being successful. You're going to attach yourself to individuals that think just like you, and you're all going to end up in jail or dead. And that's sad. We're losing our children that way for dumb stuff. Because you want this attention. You want to beautify yourself. You're going to concentrate more on that than what's in your mind and in your heart. You do. You're letting others lead your life about what's good for you. All a part of the slave mentality. You're going to have to mature, because there is definitely a lack of maturity for you to do some certain things that we are doing as black people. We're not mature to handle the changes that are happening around us. We choose to sit back and watch. And if we don't like it, our response is usually rioting or something like that, causing danger, or we just outright go crazy and start hurting each other in the community, which we have a tendency to do more. Kill each other, break in each other's house. That's cowardice. We're cowards when we lead to that particular type method of survival. Because we think individually, we are treated as such. So you will be out there individually. It doesn't matter if you have a job or not, or if you're homeless. You're individually out there as an African American. We're the only ones that don't take care of our own people. That's why we laughing stocks. Look around. Just right here in Oakland, California. Look around. And what do you see? You don't see black businesses anymore. No, you don't. You see businesses that are being opened up by anyone other than African American. And it has nothing to do with racism. Nothing. It has to do with what the laws say you're supposed to do, and it's all on paper. They paper whooping us because most of us decided not to learn how to read. That's sad, but I have met in my lifetime 3 people who did not learn how to read until they were in their 30s. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't have talked to them in a manner that they felt comfortable enough to tell me this. Because I couldn't believe it. And when the first person that let me know that they didn't know how to read came back to thank me, I felt so bad because they didn't want me to know that they didn't know how to read. So they went to the library to learn how to read, and they started learning how to read. And then that's when they came back to tell me, and then they read a few sentences for me. This is a person that I used to pass newspapers to because I made the assumption they knew how to read. For years I passed them. They were very close friends of mine. They never wanted me to know that they didn't know how to read. And I'm trying to figure out how could I not pick that up. And then I relived some of that time, and all the signs were there. All the signs were there. I ignored them. So now we're dealing with a lot of people like the 3 people I just talked about who are afraid to let people know that they can't read, write, can't do math. They're definitely laughing at us because we're sending our kids out there and they can't count. So, what are you supposed to do, people? You're going to have to learn and then teach your children. It doesn't make sense. But people that aren't from this country come here and learn in a matter of a few years fluent English. Don't make sense. But because it is possible, see, what was the saying? That practice makes perfect. I don't know if it makes perfect, but I know if you don't practice it, you wouldn't be able to do that well in it. And now we have 6- and 7-year-olds that are from other countries that read, spell, math, etc. better than some of our high school students, which lets you know that they're still graduating people from high school that shouldn't graduate. Can't read. They still doing it. And we are not paying attention. Wake up, black people. It's right there in front of us. And what's so cold about it, black people? We're not going to, in the future, near future, have any housing for us. They've set it up. They made sure that what property they didn't take from us through foreclosure or eminent domain, that you won't be able to afford it if your family members die. You wouldn't be able to afford to pay the note. So you won't have the property. And then we have some folk that are so stupid. They get to fighting over property and stuff, end up losing it or getting nothing for it. And so now we have no land. All over this country, people, they've been taking land from black people down south for I don't know how many years. We left them down there and didn't pay no attention. Even though they still live on the land, they don't own it. We've allowed them to wiggle their way in. Now I'm going to tell you the final episode of this is that we're going to be picking cotton again. But this time it's going to be for Mexicans. Because they're going to buy up the land. They already said it. And they're working on it. They have a plan for their people. And they're going to grow stuff. They had no problems in picking anything when they came over here to feed their families. And now they buying that very land. And who's going to work it? Black people, African Americans. If we don't get together and do better within our own communities, I want to say we have communities because we don't. We don't have communities or neighborhoods. All we have are addresses, and most of the time we don't even own that land that we are living in. It could be low housing or Section 8, and we're out there fighting for fair housing or affordable housing. Affordable housing means you have a job. If you don't have a job, don't fight for affordable housing. You will fight for Section 8 and low housing or subsidized housing. And they will have some slots probably in some of those affordable housing complexes. But they're not going to let anybody in there. They're going to scrutinize whoever it is that's receiving Section 8, low housing, or whatever. Because they want those government funds also, which is going to show that they're going to help individuals that need subsidized housing in some kind of way. Very few slots. It's time for us to wake up and take care of our own people. Everybody takes care of their own people and we don't do nothing. Now, I'm saying this because a lot of people want to say it. But see, if they say it, like our elected officials and people like that, you'd be ready to sue. Or talk negative about them. As if they don't see what's really going on. You have to be blind not to see what's happening in the African American communities, neighborhoods. I can't even say we have that. We can't even get one block together, let alone a whole community. So we are the laughing stock of this whole country. Now I'm trying to work hard to keep just my little old city of Oakland together, but I know you just heard that it's not as safe here as you would like for it to be. Because there's a lot going on here in Oakland, especially with drugs. We have kids in elementary school that go to elementary school that's dealing drugs. Don't make no sense for us to sit back and let that happen. This ain't the only city. We have some other cities in this country that's having the same problem because we're losing our kids by 3rd grade. And we're going to have to take a look that's really going on here. Because over the past 20 years, we have lost over 50 years. That's right, we've lost it. And we're so easily pacified and confused to get us to do whatever, that we don't realize that we are following along the lines of how we were conditioned. Now, I don't know if Willie Lynch ever existed, but I assure you the words that were written is what we are doing. And I would like to say that we were conditioned to do this, but I'm concerned about the perpetuation. Why is it that we have not figured out as a people that we were conditioned to do this? And if so, Willie Lynch said it will perpetuate itself for hundreds of years, and it looks like that's what's happening. Okay? We hate self-kind because we were taught to hate self-kind. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is for us to unite and do things as a people. Buying land, starting businesses. Because if we don't, we won't have any land or businesses. We had businesses all over Oakland. Now, one of the things I do think we messed up in is we had a tendency to get liquor stores, bars, and stuff like that. That wasn't a good decision. But it's not totally our fault because they made it easy for us to get bars and liquor stores per se. Because they knew we would not be able to handle it. We didn't handle it well. They were able to take away every black bar here in Oakland for one reason or another, especially if there was any violence associated with it, shootings or what have you. Now look around. Those of you who have been in Oakland long enough, you know we no longer have any of those well-known bars. And they claim it has something to do with our behavior. Well, I can't deny it because I myself know of some of the individuals that have pulled guns in bars and shot people and all of those things. I knew them, or either their child that grew up and did it. Been here all my life. It's sad that I have to even hold this conversation. But I have to, because we are messing up black people, African Americans. I'm going to call myself African American because my genealogy says that I'm African as well as European. 75 African, 25 European, basically. And African American maybe is what I should address myself to be because that's what it says. But I have no problems with being black. I'm no longer wanting to be called any of the other names because usually they was associated with degrading us. So no. Now, I'm going to close, but I want to leave you thinking about what I said. If we, African Americans, not only just here in Oakland, all over the country, don't start thinking clearly, uniting, and working together, we will always be slaves. This is what you're not. Just because we don't have the shackles on our hands and feet, we are slaves. They have enslaved our minds so much that we don't even recognize it. Now what we need to do now is find out, what are we doing in our communities to hurt each other in addition to killing each other? What are we doing? Are we doing anything that's progressive to help the community? Or are you a part of the community problem, which they want to get out of here? Now, hopefully, some of you hear what I'm saying, especially those of you that are out there. I assure you, they know you out there, know what you're doing. At any time, they will eliminate you. And that's including those of authority that are encouraging you to do things and you think you're safe. They'll blow you away before they give up themselves. And that's including the police officer out here that are, I know these boys ain't lied to me, that are taking their money but leaving them with the drugs, and they're going to come back and get some more money. So actually, it looks like we have some police officers that are possibly dealing drugs. Okay? So, when you know that these things are going on, you're going to have to make some arrangements to change that. Because you won't last long. They don't need you after a certain point. So you're going to end up dead. See, I can't say that some of these boys that these police officers didn't blew them away for more than one reason. I've heard rumors. Don't know how true they are. But it's a thought. Wake up, African Americans. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. Until we meet again. I love you.